Hey, welcome back to the channel. So this is my review of Wales versus England in the World Cup warm-ups. Can't lie, I was really looking forward to this one, and let's get into the game. Jack Morgan was named as captain, and he's playing at open side flanker, which possibly is his best position. I know it's his favourite position. And yeah, just a young guy, and Wales's team is really unproven, and it's going to be quite a test against the England side, who has who have some experimental combinations in there, but not to the extent that Wales do. They have a totally new front row and a lot of young players in the side. So let's see how it goes. So the game starts, and yeah, it's pretty standard stuff, kicking back and forth, and eventually we get first scrum. This is going to be an interesting one because Wales' front row is largely unproven, and the scrum seems to last an age. They move it about, trying to get better grip and everything, but it just goes on and on and on. So this is going to be a big issue throughout the game, I feel, even at this early stage. Marcus Smith looks pretty good at 10. He looks really up for it, actually, and he's running the show, and England are looking quite dangerous, actually, and Wales are doing well to defend against them. Eventually, they do cough up the penalty, and Smith puts it over, and England are 3 points in front. There are quite a lot of handling errors from both teams. They look a little bit rusty, which is fair enough, you know. But Wales's defence is pretty stout, and they have to be, because England are definitely asking questions of them in the early stages. There is a scrum penalty against Wales, and yeah, it's not looking good for them. You can see the players are trying to find their feet, but they can't quite get it together, and another penalty. Smith puts it over, and 6-0 for the English. Wales finally put some phases together, and some nice offloading, actually, linking up quite nicely. They put England under a bit of pressure for the first time, and England do cough up the penalty, and Halfpenny slots it over, and it's 3-6. What I do find funny is the commentators are talking about Tom Jones is playing at Cardiff Castle, which is literally just on the road from the Millennium Stadium, or the stadium. So it's kind of a good omen for the Welsh, but in these early stages, England definitely are dominating. England are steaming up in defence, but Reece Zammit manages to make a break in the midfield, and that results in England giving away another penalty. So a lot of infringements, a lot of mistakes by England already in this half, and Wales pop it over, and it's 6-6. The English play is scrappy, but Smith, I think, is looking good, and he puts a beautifully weighted pass into the midfield and bursts through the Welsh line, and the Wales do really well to hold the English out here. I thought it was a try for certain, but they just hang on by the skin of their teeth and defend pretty well, actually, and great scramble defense. I think one of the most important aspects of the first half was that Wales didn't give away too many penalties. Marcus Smith had his kicking boots on, but Wales didn't cough up, even when they were under extreme pressure, they didn't cough up the penalties, and that really saved them, to be honest, in the long term. Just before halftime, England get a scrum, and it's a big scrum, and they get a free kick, so another infringement against the Welsh front row, and ultimately results in England getting another 3 points. So they go into the break 9-6 in front. Maybe not the lead that they deserve from the dominant period of play that they had, but fair play to Wales. They defended really well, and they were disciplined and didn't give away those penalties, which was key. So halftime kicks off, and England put in some phases together, but from both sides I think there's a little bit too much of box kicking. That's an outdated tactic in my mind, and both teams overused it, and I think it cost England more than it did cost Wales. But yeah, not a great way to start the second half. So finally, Wales get a little bit of an advantage in the scrum, and from that, they put the ball out, and there's a crossfield kick. Wainwright gathers, and Jack Morgan, who's captain, steams through, beats a couple of players, and then inside ball. And it's try time. Gareth Davies, the perennial try scorer, gets over for a try, almost under the posts, and Wales are actually now in the lead. And it's 13-9 to the Welsh. Kind of unbelievable. Quite a turnaround really early in the second half. So substitutions are brought on for both sides. Yeah, things definitely seem to be swaying towards the Welsh now. Jack Morgan absolutely folds up his opposite number in a tackle. And you think, like, are Wales actually going to do something here? Most people have written them off, but yeah, little moments like that, and you're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? So the Welsh supporters' hopes had to be up at that point, you know, and a great captain's job. One of the turning points in the game was the change in halfbacks. Thomas Williams and Bigger come on, and at 9 and 10. And they really speed up the game for Wales, and that's what they needed at this point. So a great substitution from Gatland, and the pace really picks up. So quick ball for Wales. Bigger puts a grubber in. They manage to regather the ball, put it through the phases. Good pick and go, nice tight play. Keep possession, don't give away any penalties, no handling errors. And then it comes back to George North, and he's virtually unopposed underneath the posts. So that's the second try for Wales, and his dreamland now, really. Really, that should have been a wake-up call for England. They really need to pull their finger out and get going. But Wales keep going forward, and Grady, almost, who's come on as a substitute, almost smashes over for a try, and it's like, whew, where did Wales find this extra gear? And England at this point just don't seem able to match them at all. So something's got to change for them. Wales are even struggling to make up the numbers in the pack. At one point, George North packs down into scrum as flanker, and it's quite unbelievable, really, shades of the infamous World Cup. And yeah, like, you really were just waiting for England to react. But unfortunately for England fans, that reaction never really comes. So from losing, or not losing, but giving away a lot of infringements in the scrum, Wales absolutely crush one of the English scrums. And it's amazing, really push them back, and they crumple under the pressure. Ball goes out to Lewis Rees-Zammit, who just looks like a whippet on the wing, kicks the ball over, chips it over, and he puts it down seemingly just in the nick of time. It goes to the TMO. Ultimately, it's disallowed, which is touch and go. You know, after seeing the Scotland try that was given, they could have easily given it. It wasn't given, but you're not even begrudging the referee at this point. It like could have gone either way. It's fair enough, but you just the Wales are attacking. You know, they're offering something up, and yeah, it's looking good for them. So ultimately, England do come back a little bit, put a few phases together, but it doesn't amount to anything, and Wales take the game quite comfortably on the scoreboard. I think it was 29 at the finish. But yeah, it's not a great performance from two, I would say, pretty poor teams. At least Wales have an excuse in this department. I mean, they put on a lot of new players and even uncapped players. England had some experience there and some players who were well established, but they lacked the direction. And what was most surprising to me is when they were hurt, When Wales scored, they didn't really come back and hit back. So I'm not sure what's going on in the England camp, but they don't really have that desire. And I think ultimately that's what won the game for Wales, is just they wanted it more. You know, it wasn't about skill levels, although England did make a lot of unforced errors. Wales really wanted it more, playing at home and unproven side under the cosh in the media and in public eye. And yeah, England have a long way to go before they get to a level they'll be happy with. But fantastic result for Wales, and this opens up a lot of options for them now, players they can choose from. And I will say Jack Morgan was exceptional as a captain, and he's definitely a keeper. So England, I wouldn't say back to the drawing board, but they need some inspiration from somewhere. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the review. Please like, comment, and share. And I'll see you next time for the next one. Bye bye.